Hey guys, like I said, that I would do a Q&A. Here it is. First question is from Casey Younglove. What are your splits? Do you train certain muscle groups certain days, or do you push day and a pull day, etc.? So my splits vary every week depending on my work schedule, my schedule in general. Typically though, like Mondays are an arm day. Mondays is an arm day. The next day is usually like back. And then I'll do a leg day. And then I'll do shoulders. And then I will do chest. I alternate it every week. So not every week is not the same. Like sometimes I'm more in the mood for back on Monday, so I'll do back. So I'll change it up all the time. And I do not have a program or anything I follow. To make things short, I kind of incorporate, depending on the day, both push and pull workouts, I would say. So like for back day, I would do more pulling movements. And then for chest day, of course, it's more pushing movements. And I guess I'll have some pulling movements with the cables and everything, if that's what you mean. But I don't try to, do separate days where I'm primarily pushing or I'm primarily pulling. I just split it up into body parts. And I always change up my accessory movements. I generally keep my accessory movements the same, but sometimes I like to change it up so that it's more fun. So like back day, I always do the whole, pull up, and then I do the lat pull down, and then I'll do the whole pulling in. I forget what it's called. But, and then I'll change up the accessories as far as like what other similar exercises I do, like whether it's on a machine or with cables. So I hope that answers your question. Next question's by the same person. What is the best way to determine your macros to hit? You gave a formula of some sort of protein, but I didn't quite follow you. Everyone keeps talking about hitting macros. How do they determine theirs? Also, do you hit certain protein, carb, fat numbers while keeping everything under a certain calorie, or is it a range? Currently, I'm on more of a range program, I would say, since I am, or range macros, since I am currently bulking, but it's more of a lean bulk for the most part. This bulk, I did a bulk last year, and it was more of a dirty bulk this year. I'm more so being aware and conscious of what I am putting in my body, and not just like being like YOLO and I'm gonna eat whatever I want. Basically, what I do is my protein ranges are from 90 to 110 grams. So, let me see. I recommend 0.82 at least minimum per your body weight. So for me, that would be, let me see, times 140. That would be around 114 grams of protein. But I keep my protein between 90 to 110 grams. So it's about almost a little less than 0.82. But my strength has been steady, and I have been making strength gains. So I'm pretty sure I'm getting enough protein in. So let's see. But it varies from person to person. Some people like to do 1.2 grams or even 2 grams of protein per body weight. But if I were you to find out what works for you, you can start at 1 gram of protein per body weight, but it may be more than you need. So if you feel scared that you're going to lose your gains or muscles or whatever, maybe steadily decrease the amount of protein every week and see if you notice any differences in your muscle retention. But I haven't noticed any muscle loss. I have been steadily gaining strength and weight, so I'm pretty sure it's all a myth about getting like more than 1 gram of protein. Let's see. Also, do you hit certain blah, blah, blah. Fats are between 60 to 70 grams right now. And carbs are, so my carbs are around more than 300, a little more than 300 carbs right now in this surplus. So I hope that answers your question. I can't tell you the best way to calculate macros, but I do have a how to calculate your macros video, so go search for that video, and that is how I would figure out my macros. If I explain it here, it will take too long, so go to how to calculate your macros video that I made, and it will show you how I do it. But everybody is so specific, like I couldn't tell you how to calculate your macros because it changes depending on the individual. So if you hire a coach, they'll always start you off around maintenance calories, and they'll slowly taper down your macros to fit your needs. So everybody is different. This next question is from Adina. I'm aware I can't spot reduce or see muscular definition unless I cut fat, but what are the exercises that effectively work the abdominal muscles so that once there is enough fat gone, there will be some definition shown? Well, Dina, like, I would say it's kind of like, think about, a good example would be, say your biceps are this size, right? And then say you cut the fat, then it's going to shrink, and it's going to be this size. And while you're cutting, there's not a ton of muscle growth happening. Yes, you do build a little muscle while you're cutting, but you're primarily more so burning the fat down. Your muscle's gonna be the same size it was-ish. Maybe it grew a little. But it's like, the best way I could put it is, I'm not saying that because you can't spot train, basically, is what I'm saying. It's kind of like if you want big legs, you can't just be working out your legs. Your body is going to grow together, basically. Like, you can't just spot work muscles to promote growth. Yes, if you just work your legs may be bigger than your upper body, but that's just not how it works. It's kind of like, and also your abs is your core. You're constantly working out your core. So there are people with huge abs that do not do abs. Like, they don't primarily every day or every week focus on working out abs this many times a week. They just keep their core tight, and in every movement, and you're constantly using them. Like when you're lifting, when you're walking, when you're running, when you're just sitting up, you're constantly using your core. But I work out my abs once a week, and I do a leg lift motion. So I'll be you could do a hanging leg lift, so you just hang, and then you try not to swing your body too much, and just keep your legs keep them from here to as high as you can go, like this, and go till failure. And then after you fail that, second round, I just do knee lifts. It's easier on your back. So just have your legs angle again, and just with your knees, raise them up until you go till failure again. And then another exercise I like to do is decline sit-ups. So your bench is like this. Your decline, your leg, there's a certain area where you put your legs, hook it on, and then you're just doing this movement. And I would go all the way down till your shoulders hit the bench, and then go all the way up. And to make it even harder, you can go down slow and then go up slow. Like, because you're constantly stretching your abdominal muscles, it's going to tear and rip, and you're going to feel it the next day. And if you want to make it even harder, you can put a weighted plate on your chest while you do the movement. And if you want to work more of your sides, your obliques and stuff, you can do a crisscross motion. So you get the weight, and you're going from here, you're turning your body here to here, here. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to demonstrate, but it's hard to. But what I'm trying to explain to you is you cannot think that just because you are working out your abs, it's gonna get stronger, right? But if you're cutting, it's not gonna like pop as much as you thought. That's why they say with your first cut, usually people don't look the way they want to look just because their body in general doesn't have as much muscle as they thought underneath all the fat. So what I would say is, okay, so if you're at a high body fat percentage now, cut down, you know, do abs a few times a week. And then during your growth stage, when you're in a surplus and making in a bulking stage, then we're also incorporate abs, and then it will grow, because what you're doing is every time you tear your muscles, it's promoting growth. And if you're in a surplus, you are going to grow and you're going to make muscle gains. So if you're trying to grow your ab muscles, then you need to be in a surplus and you need to tear and work those muscles. But it's not guaranteed that just because you do that, your abs are going to look a certain way, because everyone has a genetic, basically, it's like a house. It's like it has what it's going to be looking like. Let me draw a picture. If your abs underneath it all is like a square, I know this doesn't make sense, but let's just do like this. So if it looks like this, the only thing you can be doing is growing it. So making it protrude more, just growing it. But you can't like say you want these bottom abs to be sloped at the bottom like this. You can't sculpt them. You are born with a blueprint of what you are going to have. So that's why there's some people with 4-packs and some people with 6-packs. It's all genetics. All you can do with your packs is grow them, but you can't build packs of muscles. I hope that answers your question, and let's get on with the next question. Let's go to our next question, which is on Instagram. You should follow me, Grace Lee Fitness on Instagram. Let's see. My insert belt is arriving today. Can you discuss when to use a belt, if it's maybe different for guys or girls using a belt? Also, how long and how did you break it in? Actually, I didn't have much problems breaking my insert belt in like most people. Like, I always heard of people saying they had an issue of unbuckling the belt, but I only had an issue like once or twice. But let me go get my belt. Here's my belt. And so a lot of people have issues when they buy a belt to unbuckle. But I feel like the secret to me is, because in the back it hooks right there. See those hooks? It kind of hooks. You have to push your belt outward. Push it outward and then pull it out. So, good demonstration. Mine's already broken in, but when I first got the belt, I would push it this way and then up. But other people with belts that these holes here that are drilled in, if they're way too tight, I've seen videos of people getting like a Phillips screwdriver and going like this to stretch out the area so that they can unbuckle themselves, or bring a screwdriver to the gym. So if you're stuck in your belt, you can just use it to pop it out and you'll be free. So that is something I did not do because I didn't have issues with breaking in the belt, but I know of people who have used that technique. So now back to your question. I believe you asked when to use a belt and if it's different for girls and guys. I believe that it's not different for girls and guys because we all have an abdominal wall. We have abdominal muscles. And I will show you how I wear my belt, because I had the same question. Like, do I wear it in the smallest part of my waist? Basically, let me put on the belt and then I'll show you. I guess it's up against my belly button. Right there. So, I guess it's in the small of my waist right here. I'm trying to see that you can see. But my belly button's, it's like kind of a little right above my belly button. I haven't worn my belt for a while actually, but when you want to use it. You typically want to use it when you're going to need like your maximum effort in a workout, like in usually big compound movements like squats, deadlifts, bench, just to give you more. Alright, according to bodybuilding.com, because I do not want to give you wrong information, a lifting belt provides a wall for your abs to push against. The added force with limited space means increased anterior pressure for the spine, helping to stabilize it. This gives you a more rigid torso with better transmission of force from hips to the bar, plus a more stable foundation for overhead lifts. The width of the back of the belt has absolutely nothing to do with the belt's function, as many people think. So, that is the answer according to bodybuilding.com. Anyhow, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. There will be more in the future. Just didn't do one before because I didn't know if I would get enough questions to fill the time. But it was fun, and I learned some things on the way. And anyhow, just keep on lifting, and I'll see you on the next one.